Before we get into this special weekend edition of Just the Truth, let me tell you about the latest special from Mike Lindell at MyPillow. The standard MyPillow, normally $49.98 for a limited time only, just $14.88 with promo code Joey. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener specials, and see all the specials. There's a limited quantity of just 10 at this special price. That's $14.88 with promo code Joey. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studio. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. Joining us today on our guest line from CrossRoads Women's Center, Brenda Feece, the Executive Director. Brenda, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I appreciate your time today. Now, for our listeners who may not be familiar with your wonderful organization there in Greenwood, just introduce us to CrossRoads Women's Center.
Well, CrossRoads started in 1988 from Calvary Chapel, so it's been in existence for 37 years. We are located at 428 Grace Street in Greenwood, South Carolina, 2 blocks from Lander.
Yeah. And what general area do you serve? I know you're in Greenwood, but if I remember correctly, you serve some of the surrounding counties as well, right?
We do. We serve 6 counties, the Lakelands area.
So talk with us about the average day at CrossRoads Women's Center.
Well, I'll tell you about our Tuesday. Tuesday we had 4 pregnancy tests and ultrasounds. We had an 18-year-old in the morning getting ready to go to college this fall, and she wasn't sure if she wanted to continue her pregnancy or not, so that was a little challenging in talking with her, and we have started a Pathways to Prosperity program this year to help with just that, with young people that want to finish their education and carry on their pregnancy. And then the end of the day, we had a 14-year-old. Her mom brought her in, and we were very thankful that we could be there to help this mom navigate this with her 14-year-old daughter. So, of course, they are not abortion-minded, and so we just talked about the choices of parenting and then the possibility of an open adoption. And we've done 2 of those in the past 5 years where the mother writes the birth plan and gets to pick the parents, and
Wow.
she can watch that child grow up, and the child will get to know the parents.
Yeah. Wow.
Birth parents. Yes, and so that has been very exciting for me in our center to be a part of that. We've done that twice, and the first one was with twins. The young lady had twins, came in, was pregnant for twins, and she was very abortion-minded, and we didn't hear from her for about 3 weeks. And she chose one of our partners and had a beautiful baby girl and baby boy. And a part of her birth plan was if something happens to her, that couple will take her existing twins, and they will be raised with their brother and sister.
Wow. With me today, Brenda Feece, Executive Director of CrossRoads Women's Center in Greenwood. So typically, Brenda, how many people do you serve in a given year?
Well, last year we saw 154 clients.
Mm-hmm.
So when I came on at the end of 2019, they were only open about 2.5 days, and we've grown and are open Monday through Friday, and we saw 154 clients last year. So it's grown. God has grown my faith, and God by growing this small center.
Now, of course, your name is CrossRoads Women's Center, but it's not just about the women, is it? You also help the fathers.
Yes, we do. We started an official fatherhood program, and Pastor John Bordeaux is a retired pastor, and he has named that program Men of Strength. And this is a program to mentor our young men on how to be strong fathers and leaders of the family.
Yeah. Now, obviously, Brenda and Brenda Feece with me today, this all takes money, and you raise the money within the community to keep your organization running and provide these wonderful services to these young people. Coming up in April, you have a big night with a special guest, Dr. Ben Carson. Tell us about that.
We are so excited. We have the privilege of having it at Lander University's finest Horn Arena, and he is coming Friday, April the 4th from 6 to 8 p.m., and our theme that night is Dream Bigger. So we want him to come and challenge the young people to dream bigger probably better than I do about his challenging childhood in Detroit with a single mother and moving on to become a world-renowned neurosurgeon. And we just want the young people to be inspired by his story and then, of course, share what it's like to separate the first set of conjoined twins to doing surgery with babies in utero and just how there is life in that womb.
Yeah, and Dr. Carson is just an amazing man. I've had the opportunity to meet him and to interview him a number of times over the years. And, a lot of people think about him as this world-renowned neurosurgeon. A lot of people think about him just in the political world. But he's just an amazing human being. And, you guys are so fortunate to have him come to Greenwood and talk with your group and be the headliner for this event. So how can people buy tickets, and are there sponsorships opportunities available if someone who's listening to us today are saying, I really want to be a part of that?
Well, there are sponsorship opportunities available. If you go to our website, Crossroads Women's Center, there's event information there. We'd like to thank our already sponsors, Satterfield Construction, Cal Productions, and Reagan Flooring. But if you go to our website, you can find out information there. The other thing I'd love to mention is the night of the event, we have a matching gift opportunity. So for every dollar donated, it will be matched up to $10,000, doubling your impact.
Wow.
So this is a great opportunity to raise funds, and the funds that that God will bring in this year, we're going to finish a carport at the back of the center to include 2 more ultrasound rooms, a bathroom, and 2 offices.
Yeah.
So we need the funds. Plus, we started a satellite clinic in Abbeville, and Lord willing, we'll start a satellite clinic in McCormick County this year.
Yeah. And again, this is Friday, April the 4th, and 6 to 8 p.m. Can you actually purchase tickets online?
You can, and it takes you right to Ticket Stripe. The other thing I'd like to mention is that we have made the tickets available free to students 14 and above, whether you're in high school or college. You can get those tickets through our website at Crossroads Women's Center, and it takes you to Ticket Stripe. It'll say free student tickets. You fill out the information that night, just show your student ID at the door, and we would love to have as many young people and students there just to hear his encouraging life story.
Sure. And Brenda, if someone is saying, well, I really would like to meet Dr. Carson, I understand there's also an opportunity for that as well.
Yes, we did have some VIP tickets open up. Those you will get to meet Dr. Carson and get a signed copy of his latest book, and there'll be heavy hors d'oeuvres available, and those tickets are $500. They include a $50 seat on the floor, right on the stage level floor, there to be up close during his speaking. So we would love for people to be able to do that. And to be quite honest with you, it's through that VIP event that is going to heavily carry the expenses of the night, I should say.
Sure. Yeah.
And so if you are interested in getting a VIP ticket, those are also available through the website on Crossroads Women's Center. It takes you to Ticket Stripe, and you'll see VIP tickets.
Yeah.
And I believe that there are 40 of those left.
Yeah. And again, it's Friday, April the 4th. Brenda, thank you again for your time today. Good luck with your upcoming event, and we'll check back with you again real soon.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Joey Hudson, and it is a privilege to be on your show after hearing you all these years.
Well, you're so kind. I appreciate that, and we're always happy to help. Your comments are welcome on the Firmin Ford text line, 864-477-JOEY. That's 864-477-5639. Email's always welcome, joey@joeyhudson.com. Joining us on our guest line today, Tom Tyra, Vice President, Chief Marketing Communications Officer for the GSP International Airport. Welcome, Tom. How are you?
I'm doing great today.
You know, Tom, I always love coming over to GSP because it means I'm about to go on another adventure. And it doesn't matter if it's for work or play, there's just nothing more exciting than getting on an airplane and heading out of town.
Well, that's what we try to make it not a bad exciting, a good exciting. In fact, GSP just recently, Joey, just this week was named and got their third time out of 4 years, was named as the best airport in North America based on customer experience. So we're trying every day, and those are particularly a great award because it's given to us by the customers who actually fly through the facility. So. Yeah. We're trying to keep up the good work.
Well, congratulations. I had not heard that. I missed that. That's just fabulous.
Yeah, and it's something that's it's a global. Of course, in North America, we won in the best 2 to 5 million passenger range, but actually our scores ranked us as best in North America overall. So, really good. It a lot of publicity for the region, and a lot of people are saying what is going on in the Greenville Spartanburg area that has got people so excited.
Yeah. Well, when I have friends who come into town and folks that I work with, they often comment just it's convenient, number one, and it's just the right size. And but you pretty much you've thought of everything, and you make it so easy. So it doesn't surprise me that you guys won that award. But again, congratulations. Tom, before we get into specifics about GSP, why don't you give us a quick overview of the history of the airport and talk with us too about maybe any future plans for expansion?
Sure. Well. The airport is fairly young compared to most airports in the United States. So it opened in 1962 in October, and it was really the product of the jet age coming around. Passenger travel really started in 1958, and so GSP was really the first airport in the U.S. that was actually designed from scratch with jets in mind. Everything else, Charlotte, Atlanta, other airports, were all former, small aircraft or military bases that were transformed to meet the jet age, but ours was actually designed for it. So there's a lot of new innovations and things that were started at GSP that weren't really available anywhere else, including if you've ever seen the airplane movies and someone's trying to land the airplane and you see down the runway the lights that are in the pavement.
Yes.
GSP was the first airport in the nation to have in-pavement lighting.
Wow.
They were testing it to see if it was something the pilots could see better and everything else. And so a lot of new innovations back in the day that seem kind of old hat now, but back then we were the most advanced airport in the nation when we opened.
Yeah.
So since that time, of course, this region has really blossomed, and we were in the middle of a peach growing community called Flatwoods that was right between Greenville and Spartanburg as I-85 was just being built. So you can see how this whole area has kind of evolved. And since then, we've had a big addition to the facility in 2017, what we called Wingspan, that really upgraded the airport in a significant way. And then from then, we've kind of continually been under construction projects. And right now, over the next 5 years, we'll have over $400 million of projects that will be completed at GSP to make sure that we keep pace with new residents coming to town. As the region continues to grow and expand, we want to make sure that we have facilities that are in place before all that growth gets here.
Wow.
And so you can see over the last, if you've been out to the airport recently, you've seen roadway construction that we've been doing. We're building a third parking garage. We're adding on to our general aviation terminal, kind of rebuilding that. We've had lots of investments in cargo development, and we'll actually this calendar year, be adding 2 more passenger jet bridge gates. So lots of activity going on at the airport, and it will continue really over the next 5 years.
Yeah. Well, several things there. First off, Tom, and with me today, Tom Tyra with GSP International Airport. The airport is kind of special to me because I feel like I kind of grew up there. My mom and dad, I grew up on in Greer, just off of 101 on the other side of the airport. And of course, I remember you talked about being built for jets. I mean, back then we referred to it as the Greer Jetport. And the concourses, I can remember boarding an Eastern Airlines flight, and it was all open air. You walked out, it's open air, and you walked out on the tarmac and boarded the plane. So it really has progressed over the years. And you mentioned the area there, Flatwoods. My dad went to Flatwood Elementary School, which was about a two-room schoolhouse that was over on Brotman-McClyman Road, where we live today on Brotman-McClyman. So I feel like I have watched the airport grow. And you mentioned that it's fairly young. I like that because I was born in '61. So if the airport's young, then I'm young.
You're always young. That's right. So, yeah, and the interesting thing, you mentioned the outdoor breezeways that we call them. When you didn't have security checkpoints back in the day, you could go through and go to our airside garden and see airplanes take off and all that. But those breezeways still exist. We just built an airport on top of an existing airport back in the 80s and 90s as we were growing. And so in various areas of the airport, it is exactly the same as when it was built. We just added levels to it.
Wow. Yeah. You mentioned parking, and I know you are adding some parking there. How important is parking to a growing airport, and how many vehicles can you presently serve?
Yeah. So right now we have around 5,000 parking spaces. And it is vitally important, it's in a community like ours where there's not always a lot of, for good or for bad, not always a lot of options for public transportation or trains or those types of things. That parking is very, very important, to get to the airport and to and from. And we're continuing to adapt, as more electrical cars come on board at some point. We have plans to make sure that we have charging stations and enough electricity and all those types of things. But it is one of those things, we want to make it as convenient as possible for folks to get in and out of the airport. So as we grow, we don't want it to be more complicated. So we're building close-in parking. We're also making sure that shuttle buses and things ride on a more routine schedule than what you would find someplace else. So you never have more than a 5 or 6 minute wait to get on a shuttle bus or to take you back to your car. And really changing the roadways here to where you take a lot of the stop signs and things off, and you make traffic continue to move, and people can get to their place that they need to go efficiently, and not come into the airport going, my goodness, I spent all morning trying to find a parking space.
Right.
And trying to make sure that those measures are in place. One of the big, most popular things we've done over the last couple years is allow people to pre-book parking. They can get on our website and actually say when they're going to be coming, pick out what parking lot they want to have, and they will have a spot available for them in that parking lot.
Yeah.
And so they don't have to worry about looking for, is this empty or full or whatever. They already know where they're going to go. And they just simply drive in. It picks up your license plate number and charges your credit card, and you never even have to talk to a human to come in and go parking. So it's been wildly popular.
Yeah. Well, it can't get any easier than that for sure. With me today, Tom Tyra, and we're talking about the GSP International Airport. Now, I say International Airport. I remember when that when the name changed, and talk with us about the significance of being an international airport.
Yeah, and so being part of an international, because every airport can serve an international flight. Now, the issue of being certified as an international airport is that you actually have customs and border protection facilities at your airport, and you have other measures like incinerators for international trash and those types of things. So you take that extra step, whether you have nonstop service to another country or not, you're set up for that. Now, for us, we have a federal inspections facility, so a customs clearance facility that handles about 200 passengers an hour. So passenger service is possible. for us. Right now, we're working on making sure the demand is there. It's hard between and two airports within a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours away, that are amongst the largest in the world. So sometimes it's a little tough to get the carriers to decide to bring that international destination to your place. But something that people don't recognize or realize a lot of times is we're actually in the top 20 airports in the U.S. with cargo.
Yeah.
And our cargo is almost entirely international based. So we have nonstop flights weekly to Germany, to Belgium, to China, to Korea, we just started 2 weeks ago, we started to Bogota, Colombia. And so people don't realize when they look at some of those bigger cargo jets flying over their house or their neighborhood is that they truly are coming from all over the world. And, that's where we get some of the international status.
Yeah. Tom, I take for granted that I'm just 5 minutes away from my home, to get there. But quite often, as I'm talking with people coming in and out of GSP, it's truly a regional airport because there are many people who travel for an hour, 2 hours to come to our airport to start their trip.
Yeah, and it is, and there are all of our area within the Carolinas, basically North Carolina and South Carolina both are growing by leaps and bounds. A lot of people from the Northeast and from California are moving in here for various reasons, but it's not just Greenville or Spartanburg growing; it's every community is growing, and with that, they need air service, and so it's visiting friends and relatives. It's doing business. And in fact, last year, 2024 was a particularly good year for us. We set an all-time passenger record with about 2.9 million passengers. That was up about 12% for year over year. And then we're expecting in 2025 that we'll well exceed the 3 million range. And so it's been one of those where we are truly getting passengers from all over the region and growing at a pretty fast pace.
Yeah. Tom Tyra with GSP International Airport is with me today talking about that. I can remember back when BMW first announced that they were coming to the area, and I know that I've been in discussions with others over the years when a company was thinking of coming to this area, relocating or building a new plant or whatever. Air travel is very important to them, isn't it?
Yeah, it's important to BMW, but it's also important to lots of other companies. Some of it is the cargo, all of the advanced manufacturing that we have here with companies like, of course, BMW, the new Isuzu plant that's just announced coming into Greenville County over the next couple of years. You have General Electric, as well, has a facility here. Virtually, down to Volvo and Mercedes down in the south part of the state, all of those will be sending, and all their suppliers sending materials up to make sure that they get on the cargo flights. The passenger air flights exactly the same. People have to do business. They want to conduct business back and forth, but particularly with all the international companies that we have here, you have a lot of people coming from other countries, staying for a few years to work within their companies at Michelin and BMW and ZF Transmissions and others. And then they fly back and forth to visit friends and family. Their friends and family visit here. Yeah. And so it's something that has to be there. And we have to good access with good timing and good pricing. The other thing that's really been growing over the last few years, and people have kind of, took it as, gosh, I guess that happens. But the Greenville-Spartanburg area has been truly growing as a tourist destination. Yeah. It's not just people from this area going out to the beaches or wherever they do that, but a lot of people from around the country, around the world come here to explore all the things that we have here, waterfalls and parks and festivals and everything that makes us great. And there's over 7 million people that came and visited Greenville County last year. So big economic impact, and they need air service to get here. And so we've seen a big influx of some of our recent announcements, particularly from the Northeast, really being also driven not only by companies, but driven by people who want to come here and visit and go to downtown and festivals and do the hiking, biking, all of those things that we all enjoy
Sure.
on a regular basis.
Sure, yeah. Tom, we have about a minute or so left today. Talk with us about any plans for future growth that you can share with us at this time.
Yeah, so over the next few years, we're doing some forecasting right now to see where the passenger traffic may be. But as I mentioned, we're about $400 million in some construction that we are planning. So some of that will be additional cargo facilities, could be a potential for additional gates onto the airport. We're talking with the FAA potentially about a new air traffic control tower.
Wow.
That will be here, and then the old one will be demolished. We'll be able to push the building out and add some more passenger gates. So some significant look of the airport will probably be changing over the next few years, but the idea is to keep it just as convenient as we have over the last 60 or so years.
Yeah. Tom, it's been a pleasure. There's a lot going on, and as I said, being a lifelong resident of the area, it's just been it's been very interesting to me to watch the airport grow to what it is today. I mean, again, from that open air to what we have now. And, you've got some good restaurants out there, and with the lounge, the American Express lounge downstairs makes it more comfortable as you're traveling. And so just a lot of good things going on at GSP.
Yeah, well, we're excited for the future, and thanks so much for taking the time to chat with me.
Sure thing, always a pleasure. Tom Tyra, Vice President, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer at GSP International Airport. We'll catch up again soon. That's it for this special weekend edition of Just the Truth. Thanks for joining me in the PhD Weight Loss Studios. To lose weight for the last time, visit myphdweightloss.com. If you haven't joined my mailing list yet, visit my website, joeyhudson.com. Click on the Connect with Joey button so that you can receive our emails and the most up-to-date news. Also, join me on my YouTube channel. Be sure and like, comment, and subscribe. Just search for Joey Hudson. As always, thanks for spending a few minutes of your day with me. Do me a favor and forward this episode to a few friends. Just click on the share button and send to your contacts. We need to build an army of conservatives to win our country back, and we can do that by continuing to share the truth with our friends and family. Keep those comments coming via the Firmin Ford text line 864-477-JOEY. Email to joey@joeyhudson.com, and I love your messages on the MyPillow message line. Again, that's 864-477-JOEY, 864-477-5639. Be sure and take advantage of the MyPillow special, just $14.88 on the standard MyPillows when you use promo code Joey. Order online at mypillow.com or call 800-893-4053. We're back again tomorrow and hope you'll plan to join us. Until then, remember, God's got this. He's still in control.